Well, it's the 14th of June 2012, which is my 35th birthday. And here I have my birthday cake, which I'm eating while on guard duty, and a wind-up radio that Liz kindly bought me for my birthday, which I opened and unwrapped today. And I am getting signal. I don't know where the hell it's coming from. It doesn't sound like British Forces radio. It actually sounds like it's straight from England. So yeah, I'm amazed I'm picking that up. But yeah, so a pretty mundane birthday. If you asked me 10-15 years ago where I think I'd spend my 35th birthday, I doubt I would have said that I'd be spending it on operations in Afghanistan, especially since 15-20 years ago the Russians had just left, so you'd never have dreamt that we'd be involved in this now. Anyway, but we are. Yeah, what's happened lately? There was a massive operation yesterday. Got some nice photographs. A sniper's been around, sniped one of our guys' sergeant, shot him in the arm. He set up shop in a place called Mohamadzai, which is about 600-700 meters away from our base here. And it really is a hornet's nest of Taliban activity. And they've had some sharpshooters and snipers working in there. So since they moved in, which was about 2.5-3 weeks ago, we've been coming up with a plan in order to try and neutralize this threat. And that was put into effect yesterday. We didn't take part. We were close. We're so close to Mohamadzai, excuse me, that we just manned the base here, but we had front row seats to it because we literally just overlooked the village of Mohamadzai, so we could see exactly what was going on. Recce went in with a couple of Afghan local police, and they flew in these amazing aircraft called Osprey, these American aircraft, which I'll show you photos of. But it's capable of flying forwards like an aeroplane and also hovering like a helicopter. Anyway, they landed in Mohamadzai on either side of it, and they really caught the Taliban napping, because the Taliban started scrambling all over the place. We knew where some of the firing points were located, and our guys moved in pretty quickly, and within probably 5 minutes they had already killed 4 Taliban.
Alpha, Roger, we're right on top of him, he's just killed 1 ALP, over. 70 Alpha, 70 Charlie, I'm no more than 100 meters away from compound 22.
Cheers. Recce and other call signs have just dropped in via Osprey around Mohamadzai, so that's everyone there. We're just listening on the radio now to what's happened. 1 Taliban down, killed. 1 weapon recovered.
1 ALP down.
And 1 ALP killed. But we've got the Taliban, well, some guys cornered in a compound, hiding under a bush. So we should have them before too long.
70 Charlie. 0 cent. Roger, firing points of small arms fire was compound 19 and 20 in kilo, over.
0, Roger, I'll get the air on that now.
Zero, count to my last, 19 and 12, 19 and 12 kilo.
0, Roger, 19 and 12, out.
Compound's down to 3-1.
70 Alpha, we believe no change in enemy force location, no change still in the southwestern corner. He's moving around but still in the southwest corner of 22, over.
Of rifles. Some other Taliban had run into compounds and were trying to hide out there. One unlucky fellow was hiding in a garden, but within a compound, under a tree, right in the southern corner. But from our eyes in the sky, we knew where he was. So Recce snuck up behind the wall and literally dropped a grenade on his lap. So that was a good night nurse for him. Another insurgent had managed to hold himself in a compound, and Recce had to go and do some compound clearance, which is always a very dangerous thing to do, because you can imagine being inside a house with a guy with an AK-47. because then all the technology that you have on the outside, Apache attack helicopters and eyes in the sky and all of that sort of stuff, actually counts for nothing. Eventually it's just two people in a room shooting at each other with machine guns. By this stage, one ALP, which is a local policeman, had been killed. He took a PKM round through the heart. He was killed. And then our guys went in to clear this compound. Unfortunately, we took a casualty. One of the recce's from the Grenadier Guards had a grenade. The pin was pulled. It was in his hand already, and they were going in to throw a grenade into a room. He was shot. He fell when he was shot. Obviously released the grenade he was holding, which subsequently exploded, and unfortunately he was killed. They continued assaulting the compound. They didn't pull out after the lad was killed. They carried on pushing through. That's when a South African, Sergeant Stradom, he got some grenade frag as well in the shoulder and legs, assaulting a room. But eventually all the rooms were cleared, and a number of grenades were put into some of the rooms, and the insurgent in there was killed. We had an opportunity with an attack helicopter to get another 2 insurgents, but there was confusion over the radio as to where one of our call signs were, and they didn't want to risk getting our own call sign at the same time as getting the Taliban, so they didn't fire. But unfortunately that was an opportunity missed. We could have got another 2 more. Another recce was shot through the shoulder, but he's okay. He's chatting and he's fine. So at the end of the operation, 5 Taliban killed, and the recovery of 4 rifles, one of which was a sniper rifle, but they're not too sure of the make of it, but it's a sighted weapon. They also got a Danish M16, which had an ACOG sight on, so another sighted weapon, which they think is the one that's shot Sergeant. They also got another bolt-action rifle, which is really good. It's probably something like a Lee Enfield 303, which is made locally in Pakistan still, which is actually a hell of a lethal weapon. If you have somebody who's a good shot with an old sort of World War II or World War I Lee Enfield rifle, it's a hell of a big round. If you get hit by it, it's game over. So very, very happy that we recovered that. And we also recovered just a normal AK-47, but also not a very nice piece of equipment. So overall, the operation was highly successful. We were really just going after the 1 sniper rifle, and we ended up getting 4 rifles and killing 5 insurgents. It's just unlucky, like I say, that we lost one of our own lads in the process. Yeah, we're pulling out of Manzera tomorrow, and then in 2 days' time we've got some big operations going in, which I'll obviously take my camera along, and you can see what we get up to there. But it should be quite interesting. It should be quite a big operation. But yeah, that's my 35th birthday. 35 in a war zone. Shit. Oh hell, don't know what I'm going to do after this tour. I better start settling down, eh? Well, that's not really in my blood, so we'll see how that takes. But yeah, I've had an interesting life, and this is just another chapter in it. So that is my 35th birthday. Listening to the radio, eating cake, and looking out into the green zone in Afghanistan. This isn't the most glamorous part of the PB. This is the burns pit. And when I say this is where we burn our shit, I mean this is literally where we burn our shit. Because as you can imagine, we don't have many toilet facilities and things like this. Do you have any matches?
Yeah, I was just going to get some blue roll and tie. Oh, fucking light. Hold on.
Hey! There we go. And then everything we put on there, like deodorant cans and things, generally explode and fly all over the place. So you want to take a couple of steps back. But yeah, that's the way we deal with rubbish in this place.
I mean, every time it goes up, it's not burning. So.
Wonder what the lads are cooking for dinner. There's the Andrex puppy, roaming it all up. It's a little bit windy here tonight. And that's Danny, she's about the size of the Andrex. Tiny, but we're having a good scoff tonight. Have a look at all of this. We don't eat this well every night, that's for sure. We're just cooking. We're just cooking pretty much everything before we leave here tomorrow morning. So it's pork chops, we got steak, and I'm trying my hand. This is putupup, which will be quite interesting to see if the Brits like it or not. But so we got putupup and meat. So quite a South African meal. No. And there's the boss. He's got his camera out, and I think he's trying to take pictures of the Apache. Because of the loot. Oh, the balloon. Oh, okay. So he's not taking pictures of the Apache. But the Apache's up there. We've got one of our call signs in contact, and we're hoping the Apache's going to get permission to open fire. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll let you know how that goes. But that's yeah, another evening. It may actually be our last evening at Man Zero. Depends if they decide to close us down or not. Eventually the call was made to close down Man Zero, so we packed up all our stuff, broke down the camp, loaded it all onto vehicles, and headed back to forward operating base Rahim.